everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back and joining me today. We're back with the White Rose Detective Agency, the case of the Peculiar Butler, and we're on day 12. I think it's 12. I've lost count. But we're on our second day of our third week. So we're doing Suspects and Evidence week, which is just great. I absolutely love the story and all the intricate details of why these people are suspects. So yesterday we did our gorgeous, well, I like them anyway, our gorgeous pieces there, which I love. So we're going to just do a nice different sort of belly band today. And I don't know where I want to put it. I think I'm going to put it sort of at the back here because of what I want it to keep. I mean, there's quite a few journal pages in here, and I'm going to leave it like that as well so that we can add to it, once we've got further on with the story maybe. I did finish my tags and I put those on there. I don't know whether I did that in yesterday's video or not. So what I wanted to show you here is this is how my cards printed out, which is this size, which if I just give you an average size, because all mine are fairly different. So they're 3.5 inch squares. So then I printed them 2 to a page, and which is the biggest one? This one. And these ones are 2.5 inch squares. And then I printed 4 to a page. And I'll just get the, I can't really use that one because it's not a true size. Maybe this one. And these ones come out at 1 3/4 inch squares. Now we could do a thin belly band. Maybe. I don't want to put it on that page, I want to put it on this page. But I'm thinking this one would be better because I'm not covering up a lot of the pictures. So I just want to pick out a couple of pictures that I want to use. I don't really want to use the evidence. They've got to sort of be a similar size. I quite like this sort of evidence there, that one and that one. Let me have a look what other evidence I've got. When I say I printed them 2 to a page, I mean I clicked 2 of the prints and clicked those 2 to a page. So I only get one of the image. I don't get several. I've done that before and made the mistake. So just thought I'd clarify that. It's like these. I didn't get 4 of these. I clicked 4 pages and then printed those 4 on one page, so that I've got all the different images of the cards. So although that gave me all of the cards, this one I only picked, I think it was 2 of them. So I haven't got all of the images on this size. I quite like that. Oh, it's not the same size though. And I need them to be virtually the same size. So we're going to have to go with those 2, unless I can cut one down. Let me just see, because I prefer it to be some sort of evidence, since it's at the back. That's that page. Want some different evidence though, don't we? And I don't really want people. There's enough of those in there. Now, could do that one and cut that down, because that is evidence. I know the chocolates are evidence as well. There's a lot of chocolate pictures in this one. I wonder if that's what killed him. What are your thoughts so far? If you've read the story, yeah, I'm thinking that I might want that. So I'm thinking that I could do that and put that down to size. That's what I'll do. And put that on that pile. because they're sort of a similar vein. Yeah, I'm going to do that and cut that down. Well, I would have liked her name in it, but yeah, means cutting the frame off at the top. No, I'm going to leave her name off, and I might just cut that off and add it on. That's what I'll do. So I'm just going to cut around that to give me 2 pieces. Now, freehand cutting is very dangerous for me because I cannot for the life of me cut a straight line, but we're going to give it a go. Okay, so the only bit I want from those bits is her name, which is on here. So I want that. So I've got my 2 pieces, which are exactly the same size. Okay, and I'm going to put one at the top and I'm going to put one at the bottom. So I want to do sort of a slightly different belly band on here. I want to do a string belly band. Or elastic. I have got some thin elastic, and then I might just pop her name across here so that we know who she is. So I'll just clip that down and clip. Oh, why don't my scissors want to go through more? I've got something stuck to the back. Okay, there we go. And then I'll link that up and I can just pop that across there. Yeah, pop it across there so that we know who she is. Get rid of that. So I'm going to ink those up, and I'm probably going to round those corners. I do like a rounded corner. Yeah, so what's everybody thinking? Have you got any ideas of who it might be yet from the descriptions that you've read about this week? I'm going to round those corners, I think. So let me just get my corner rounder. I think I only want small ones. Well, not small, the medium. And I'm just going to do the bottom. I want the top ones to be, well, this one's on the top. So we'll just ink those corners there. Now I did a similar thing to this in the old school detective series that me and Mandy did a couple of years ago. I can't believe it's been a couple of years ago. And I have linked the video down below, well, the playlist to that down below, because it might just give you a few ideas on, different aspects of how to do things and how to incorporate them into a journal. Now it's a lap book, so it is actually completely different to this process, but some of the ideas may work for you. And my glue decided not to work today. Good old scrape in there. Just gonna, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a bit of double-sided tape. Oh, that's right. I'm just going to pop that onto my picture so that, do I want it just like that? Actually, yeah, I think I do. Actually put it upside down. The writing on it is so small, I can't see. But yeah, quite like that there. So what we're going to do next is we need some eyelets. And I'm going to use small ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just need 4. But first I'm going to back these onto some card just for stability. These are a bit thin, so I think I'm going to back them. Now I'm just using part of a file folder here, and I'm just going to stick those down. I did put my holes in before I realised, so don't put your holes in first, like me. So I'm just going to stick those down, and I'm just putting them sort of in a bit, only because I need a piece here. I want to leave a bit of a gusset here to add on to my page so that it flaps from the top of the page. Well, it won't flap, but you know what I mean. I want to add it to the top, so I'm going to leave sort of that sort of margin there, and then I'm going to cut around this. So that you end up with this. And we're just going to put it on my board, line that up there, and I'm just going to put a crease in there, a score line I should say. About there. And I'm just going to fold that over and burnish that down. Same with this one. And then I'll just ink. With no ink on there. So I'll just ink just to give that a bit of colour. Get rid of that cream there. And then what I'm going to do, it doesn't matter because you don't see it anyway. I'm just going to do the inside of that bit there and the outside of this bit here, just in case you can see any of it. Okay, so now we're back to where we were. So what I need now is my eyelets to go in. I've still got a really painful hand doing that. It hurts it so much. Okay, so this is our bottom one and this is our top one. So just place it on your page where you might want it. So our eyelets are in. I've made a boo-boo there because it's higher, but I can't help that now, it's done. And my hand is so painful, it hurts to do those eyelets. So I'm probably thinking right in the middle. Now I don't want to glue them down yet until we've got our mechanism in. Now you can use anything for this. You can use thread, you can use embroidery silk, you can use a little bit of thin elastic. But what I'm going to use is this hemp cord, and the only reason that I'm going to do it is because I put it into the middle of my page. If you put anything that's too tight, it will curl your pages like this, and it's not what you want. It's not the look that you want. So glue them into place, and then we want to pop whatever it is that you're going to use. I would, because if it's in the middle of a page, I would definitely think about how tight you're going to have it. So I'm just going to feed it in, and I'm top loading them. Oh, that's not what I want, is it? So you go down one and up one. Okay, and then this part will then need to just be tightened. So what I mean is, let me just tighten it so that you get what I'm saying. So if it's too tight, If you put it too tight, your pages will come up like this. Let me just pick the book up. It'll curl your pages, your ends up. So we want it to be flat. I probably should have used a thicker page to put this on. And then I just want to tie this now at the back, however tight we're going to have it. And you can gauge it by putting your fingers down. I've made this a bit more difficult for myself putting it in first. I haven't got enough thread on there. That's it. So I'm just going to do a tie. I'm just doing it on the side because it'll make it easier. And then I'm just going to tighten that up. Okay. Whilst holding the pages down so that you don't over tighten it. And then you want that in the middle so you can do your second knot. Okay, and then that will lie flat. And then if you just pull it and just take off that bit of excess there, and that knot can stay at the back there then. And then your pages will lie quite flat, which would be good. Now I have had another thought about this because this would be actually quite nice as a pocket or tuck. We could have put it right to the end of here and used it as a pocket this way. You could make them to go across your pockets, make these smaller and make them like that and then cross this side. Or in my other detective novel, we had a half page like this and we put it on there, which would make it a bit more sturdy on your page. But I mean, that's gone quite flat and it's not overly bulky in your book. So I'm quite happy with the way that's turned out. If you wanted to glue a little bit down here and down the sides, just so that whatever goes in. Now I'm thinking of popping an envelope. I made another one of these envelopes, which I may pop into there like that. So decorate that up. And in fact, we could do that now. Because I want to do this as an evidence envelope. Because it's towards the end of the book. So I'm thinking that that would go quite nice in there and it wouldn't be too bulky. And because I don't know how much more, other than what Mandy's made on video, I will get that done. I don't know if I'm adding any more to this really. I know I've got lots of pictures which need to go in, and but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'm thinking that, and I quite like the look. Yeah, I'm thinking what I might do is where we've put the, yeah, see, I like the gussets because they give you full page access. But I'm thinking now that maybe we should glue those in so that this is a lot more taut and it doesn't, yeah, I'm thinking that that might be a better option. So I might do that. So although it takes away the page a little, come on glue, there we go. Just need a bit of glue on that gusset. So if you don't want to do the gusset area, then you don't have to, because you could just glue the card in flat. Might be what I've done wrong really is putting the gussets in. So I would think about what it is that you want. That lies better without the gusset. So let's take the gusset option off. Well, you could leave it on. Yeah, it's better. It lies much flatter without that gusset. And now I don't know if my envelope will fit. Yeah, it will. Yay. Okay, so yeah, the option would be then to not put the gusset on, or put the gusset on, but because it would allow it to give you that. I know it's only a very small amount, but it gives it a little bit of leeway to be lifted off the page slightly. But that lies nice and flat now. When I tried the elastic, even though mine's very thin elastic, you know, it's very stringy is what I mean, it was pulling the page too much, and that's why I've used the cord this time. But I like those. I think they're really cute. And again, like I said, there's probably options for lots of different things for this, you know, pockets and all sorts, because that'd make a lovely pocket with something in it, because you can see what most of it is. You know, you can see what's in there, so that if that was on the bottom of your page, that's what you would see. You could make a, you know, a design in the middle of your card, your journal card, or whatever it is that you're going to pop in your pocket, and you could do it this way or long ways. I think they'd look really cute, actually. I like that. So we'll decorate this envelope. Okay, so I've crunched up the envelope and I absolutely love it. Look at that. Let me just show you a real close-up of it. Isn't that beautiful? I have just used vintage photo. No, I didn't. I used walnut stain, ground espresso, and some gathered twigs. And I just kept building up and building up, just lightly. And it just caught all these bits. Then I sort of tore this edge and rolled. When I sort of did it, it automatically went like that. So I absolutely adore it. So we're going to stamp it up now. I sorted out a little bit of ephemera there and some other bits and pieces. So I'm just going to start stamping it. And I think, what have I got? I really want condemned. I want some numbers. But I did do this piece that I thought I would just pin on here. Well, not just pin, but let's see. Any dark bit there. Just scrunch this up a little bit more. Just to make these papers look a bit more dirty. So I'm thinking of adding that there with a tiny paper clip, just to cover that paper clip there. I think I will glue it. I need to pull it down just a little, don't I? About there. But I think I'll glue it on like I did with the other one, only because I don't really want it to be removable. And I don't know whether we could glue it on as a pocket maybe, which I think is possible. I might do that. So I want to stamp around it really. I also have evidence here, which I'm thinking in the middle maybe. I don't suppose it matters where we stamp, to be honest. We could use inspected. Yeah, I think I am going to put that on as a pocket, because I think I'll be able to put some like extra papers in there. Suspect list would go in. Yeah. Let's just get some more bits of stamps on. And then we'll stick that on, I think. I'm going to put something in the pocket, so I don't mind that empty space. It was this one, wasn't it? This is the one. Okay, so there's those. Just put those out of the way while we concentrate on this. So yeah, I'm thinking of, I want the paper clip to stay there. I just like the feature of it. So I think what I'll do is I'll just stick a bit of glue down there, but in a straight line to there and then up there. And we'll pop that in as a pocket, I think. So I just want him about there. Oh, a bit lower. Out there. Yes, stick that on just as an added extra. Just over that paper clip there. And then we've got this suspect list here, which I'm quite happy to pop into there. But I want to make it into a card. So I'm just going to use the medium rounder. I'll back it onto something, I think, make it a bit harder to use, so that it can be used as a card, quite like that. And then I think we'll pop the evidence on the back. Yeah, I quite like it being in the middle. Yeah, so I'll just stick that on. I think I'll stick it over this paper clip, just so it sticks that down into place. Put the wrong way now. I quite like that. Let's try him in our, because it's at the back somewhere, isn't it? And let's see what that looks like. So we can fill that with some documents, maybe evidence related to a later date. Let's just pop you into there. Oh, that looks quite cute. Oh, I'm liking that. That's lovely. That's come out nice. So what I'm thinking of doing now for the front, well, I say the front, for the other bits that I needed to do, is I just wanted to sort of put some littler pictures. It would help if they were straight cut, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't want them straight, see, I sort of want them skew. And they're not really serving any other purpose other than decoration, really. But I want something more on this page. So this is what my thought was. So I'm going to stick the sticker down. So I'm just thinking of a little bit of decoration, really, because there's not much that you can do with these pages with it having the storyline on. Now this is still the same story, and then I want to leave this blank, but what I'm thinking of doing is the invisible pocket again, just here, maybe, or there. That's what I'm thinking there. This one, I was thinking of popping these two down here. So we'll ink those off. So I'll just ink those white lines off. And we'll get those stuck down. So the only other bit that I can think to put on the Lady Pennington was she's a bit further over, don't you? Yeah, I think that's okay. Then we've got Jack, who was seen running away with the suitcase. So I think I'm going to stick him down. And I'm just going to pop him across like so. So he's running away with the suitcase. So the only thing that I can think of for the Lady Pennington one is maybe the papers. And I don't know if I've got a small enough one for that one. So we've got Jack. Who's next? I haven't got anything for him. And his motive really was Vivian. So, and she's already in that picture. So I'm just going to put a pocket on here, I think. And I might just stick a tag in there. And then on this one, I'm thinking of the sweet shop and obviously her mint. Her mint, what are they? Mint treats? Mint cakes. So I think I'm going to do that on there. Just so it brings, you can see visually what the evidence is against each one, or what the suspected evidence, I should say. The suspected motive. So we'll stick that one down. And I think we'll just stick those ones to the side there. It'll just fit. Okay, so I carried on a little bit. I've made some tabs for my suspects, which is obviously the Lady Pennington and Mr. Harold Stone and Jack Branson on there, and we got Charles Whittaker here. So I'm just on the last one. So all I've done is I've taken my little tiny ones and I've just cut them in half because I wanted the faces of the people to be at the front, and it didn't matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it. So I've cut them up so that I can stick them onto here like so. Okay, so it's still a picture. Sorry, like so. They're going to be back to front. So it's still the picture. So I want her to be on there like that. And this one's going to go on like that. Okay. So I am going to trim this one down just a little bit. Just because I want it to the top, and it makes it a little bit harder unless you can get it to the top like so. Okay. So we're just going to stick those down. And I'm going to ink everything up quite heavily. So I stuck that one to there. So I made 5 tabs. I sorted my 5 pictures, and I unfortunately couldn't get them to fit the whole of the tab. Now, I wish I'd used a different shaped tab now, but I didn't. So, you know, you might want to think about that when you're doing it. I did sort of cut it down when I did the first one. So I just want that in about the same place, high up to that line there. I'm just going to stick those down. So I did cut them off, but then they weren't very tab-like. And I suppose they would have been probably a little bit better than this, I think. I don't know. But I've gone with it now. So you might just want to think about the tag shape or the size that you want to, however you want to do it. I just thought it was quite a neat idea for the suspects to have a tab each. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim around my tag. Now I find it easier to do this open. You may know otherwise. I'm just sort of giving you a last attempt idea. And then I'm just going to trim them all up where I need them to be trimmed. I'm much better at fussy cutting it than I am cutting straight lines. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my sander. And that's got a bit of a lip on it actually. And I'm just going to make sure that the shape is a definite shape. Plus this will help the ink take a bit better. Okay, then I'm going to ink it all up. See how well that sanded area takes the ink. See why they use it for grunge a lot. So much easier. Okay, so that's all I did to create my tab. I'm not keen on these bits, but I've left all the others on, so I'm going to have no choice. Now, this was where I became to have a bit of a dilemma on this one, because on the other side of this, where it needs to go is this pocket. But I'm going to go with it anyway. I have to make sure that I've got enough room for that wording. So it needs to go about there. So I'm going to glue that bit there. And then I'm going to pop that on. Make sure that I'm not covering any words up. Pull it out, level it up. Make sure it's on the end of there. And I just want to make sure it's not stuck on this bit. I might have to cut that little bit off actually. Which is no great shakes really. Just so it's level with my pocket. Because I need it to fit and I added it. And it's dry. I have moved it now. And I'm just going to come in and just glue where that needs to be. And there we have Iris. And I just need that just to come in there. Just darken that up so that you can't see that cut edge, and then my pocket should still work fine. Okay, there we go. So I just thought I'd share that with you because I've just made those tabs now. They're a bit higgledy-piggledy, and it's because in some places I've had to put it right on the verge because of the wording. But I quite like those. I think they're quite cute. I wish I'd taken off these bits, but I didn't, so there's nothing I can do about it now. I think that's all we've got time for today. So I hope that you could take something from that. I really love our page and our envelope that we've created again today. Love the belly band. So yeah, I hope you'll join me tomorrow for the next one. Hopefully I shall have Mandy's things done. Hopefully, cross fingers. So yeah, so join me tomorrow, and I'll see what I can come up with then. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye for now.